Hi everyone. Let me see how I share this to the group. Share, share, share. Hi everyone. Share. Hi everyone. I hope everyone's doing awesome. Hi Alex. Hi Goddess Mother. Share if you care, share if you dare. Like, follow, share, right? Subscribe, whatever you want to call it. So, I just put up a link for a video that one of my spiritual brothers in the 21 division did, and he addressed a situation that really needed to be addressed. But I don't know how to share everything across all the platforms. And I also wanted to address it just a tad. I'm not going to hold anyone up for long today. But there's this very common thing, especially amongst the Santeria, Lukumi, and Espiritista communities, where they all consider Lua Muertos. And he explained it so excellently, so if you can check him out, that video out, it's posted up on my Instagram. I believe it's El Brujo del Bloque is his username. And he just addressed the situation so excellently about this common misconception, and that happens all the time. I get consultations where this happens with people. Lua or Lua? Lua or not muertos, right? Lua or not muertos, Lua is Lua. Lua is the same as deities in many other traditions. Hi Aida, hope you're doing well, right? Hi Garth, Lua is Lua, okay? It's not muertos. And for those of you who are not familiar with that term muertos, it means dead. And it refers to the spirits of the dead and spiritual guides that people work with in Santeria, Sanse, Espiritismo, and those other traditions that exist that are ATRs. But Lua is Lua. A lot of Santeros, a lot of Espiritistas refer to the Lua as muertos. But the Lua are not muertos, right? This designation of the Lua as muertos, there's many reasons behind it, but one of the reasons that doesn't get touched upon is that there's a certain racism that exists, and there's a racism, hi Angelica, that exists even in the Caribbean. It's often by those people within Cuban denominations, I just have to say it, right, on people, hi Miss Elie, okay, upon Dominican people, Haitian people, and people from Hispaniola. Now, Lua is Lua. Lua is not a muerto, okay? A lot of people in New York, in Florida, in other places, right, are getting really confused by many santeros and espiritistas that claim to be working with the Lua, but that refer to them as muertos. Lua is Lua, okay? And a Lua is the equivalent to a deity. It's like an Orisha. These are primordial beings. These are essences, okay? Spiritual essences that make up the world. They're major forces. They are not muertos. A lot of people miscategorize the Lua as muertos. And one thing that he mentioned in this video, the Lua can do things that muertos just simply cannot do. Okay? And there's a racism that exists, okay? And a discrimination that exists towards practices that come from Hispaniola, okay? practices that come from Dominican roots or that come from Haitian roots, right? Where, especially among Santeros, they look at voodoo or the 21 divisions as being beneath them. But let me tell you something. Growing up, my godmother in the 21 divisions, my mambo in the 21 divisions, many of her clients, a vast majority of her clients, were santeros, paleros, and espiritistas. A vast deal of her clientele were people from that tradition coming to get magical work and brujeria done that they could not handle. Okay? And it's not uncommon. In fact, I do the same thing. I have a vast number of santeros, paleros, and espiritistas who come for spiritual work and spiritual help. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? This is not on bashing anyone or anyone's tradition. However, as was mentioned in my brother's video, language is very important, right? And a lot of times, the way that people within those traditions, Santeria, Lukumi, Paleria, Espiritismo, okay, refer to the Lua is as if they are beneath them, right? When they refer to them as Muertos, what they're doing is they're throwing them as if they're minor spirits, little spirits, small spirits, okay? As if they're not who they are. And something else that he mentioned in that video, which I always say, and all my God kids can tell you, you're either born with Lua or you're not. You can go around believing that you can buy all you want, but you cannot buy Lua. If the Lua says no, it's no. No matter how many initiations you have, no matter how many ceremonies you have, no matter whether you go to Haiti, whether you go to DR, where you go, okay? No matter how many things they put on your head and how many chickens they sacrifice for you, you cannot buy Lua, okay? Either you have the Lua or you don't have the Lua. It's as simple as that. Now, some people can go to the Lua and receive the Lua, where the Lua will come to them, but the Lua has to be consulted. But no amount of money or initiation, okay? No amount of money, no amount of initiations or ceremonies is going to bring you or give you Lua if they say no. Okay? You cannot buy this. And if you have Lua, okay, they're going to come to you with or without initiation. Hi, Azure. Okay? They're going to come to you with or without initiation. And they're going to come to you when they're ready for you. For many of us, especially many of us who grew up in the culture, they come to us at a very early age. For many of us, they show up at a very early age. Now, there are some individuals who did not grow up in a spiritual culture, and they had experiences with the Lua and did not know what was going on with them. Did not know who was coming to them, but they knew someone was coming. And eventually came to find out who that was. Hola. Hola, Juala, Kumawiye. Right? Hi, Courtney. And eventually came to find out who they were. Okay? But Lua cannot be purchased. There are things that can be purchased. Okay? But it's not Lua. It's not Lua Racine, c'est pas Loi Guinée. Loi Guinée, Loi Racine, you cannot buy. It doesn't matter, right? And this is the simple reason why bon bagay la, bon well la. This is the simple reason why I often, right, am unable to accept someone for initiation or for ceremony. In the old times, right, you had to go through a process and through consultations, consulta with the misterio to find out if you had loi so that you could go through whatever processes you needed to. This is also the reason why I often say, you may be an initiate, a hungan, a mambo, a so-and-so, somewhere else, but you ain't nothing here, baby. Because if you don't have it, you just don't have it. And I don't care who you paid and who you gave money to, or what type of ceremony they did all over you. Okay? That don't mean nothing to me. And your title don't mean nothing here. Right? Because if you don't have loi, they can kill 1 million animals, and they can sprinkle 1 million things on you, and you ain't never gonna have them. And if you have loi, they can do the simplest things, the simplest of simplest, high Lex, the simplest of simplest, and you will have what you need, and things will start to move, and you will be able to progress, right? But you cannot buy loi. There's also this that I've been seeing on the internet of people telling other people, oh yeah, go buy the statue and do this and do that, and then you'll be good to go and the loi is gonna come. That's not how this works. Okay? Loi cannot be purchased. Loi is not something you go grab in a botanica. O lo tiene o no lo tiene. And actually, I made this really clear in my book. You gotta look, right? The secrets good little secrets have been sprinkled around in the book. But one thing I mentioned is that el brujo se nace, no se hace, right? Brujos are born that way. Through the processes of training and initiation, they are unraveled, they are developed. It helps their processes, it helps them understand, it helps them be able to develop their powers and unravel them, okay? But the brujo himself are born, okay? Tony, you can contact us at help@mysticalwork.com and get set up for a reading, okay? But today what I'm talking about is that loi is not muertos, right? And loi being referred to as muertos is actually really disrespectful. It's the same way for me to say that Oshun or Ochun es una muerta. Ochun is a muerta, okay? Or to say that Orula is a muerto, okay? Just because it's not from your tradition doesn't make it a muerto. The truth is, maybe your tradition may not have the cosmology or may not have the terminology in loi is loi. Loi is not muertos. That's something that happens all the time. And a big part of it has to do with discrimination. A huge part of it has to do with discrimination. And while I'm here clarifying these things, exactly, you can buy muertos. Miss Elliott, a spiritual sister here, right? So you can buy muertos. You can buy point. You can buy a jab. You can make a contract. We can do that for you. You cannot buy these things. These things are not purchased. They're not bought. Either you have them or you don't have it, right? And at times you can go and you can receive it, but again, that's up to them. You may go somewhere to try to receive, and loi says no, okay? That's not up to the brujo, the caballo de misterio, and a lot of information that's being put out about Sanse is incorrect, okay? In fact, let me tell you, when I first put up the website about Sanse, okay, I was told I made the whole tradition up. A few years later, like 3 or 4 years later, these same individuals were saying, oh yeah, they did that, their family did that, they were initiated in that too, they had that, etc., etc. But a few years back, you didn't know what the hell it was. Right? And there are, Sanse, okay, doesn't only come from PR. In fact, it was brought over from DR to a certain extent. There was an inter-exchange there. And there are Sansita who work with Lua, and there are Sansita who work with spirit guides, and there are Sansita who work with both. It kind of depends on the line of Sanse that you're from, or that you're coming from. There are lines of Sanse that are espiritismo based, more espiritismo based. There are lines of Sanse that are more misterio based. But it's funny how, right, just a short while ago when I first put it up and out there, I made it up. I came up with a whole religion that all these people knew about in the islands by myself. And then those same people turn around and claim that they were Sansita, saying that they do Sanse, that Sanse was around them, and so on and so forth. Be careful of the lies, okay? There's a lot of people out on the block, out on the streets out here, giving a lot of lies. A santero, a palero cannot determine for you, or an espiritista cannot determine for you what you need with the Lua. They may be able to tell you you need to go down that route and see because there's something there for you. But they cannot determine for you that. And to touch a last point, all right? And this may tweak a few people's nerves, get under the skin a little bit, but it is what it is, okay? You will not be an expert santero or an expert palero and also be an expert at Vodou and an expert at 21 divisions. There is too much on either side to properly do, and two different types of spirits to take care of, okay, for you to be able to be 100 on each side, okay? You may have some ceremony in both things, but you are not both things. You are either more this or more that. You're either really walking this path or you're really walking that path. You may have other things, but the person who is a santero, for example, if you're going to a santero and what they do is santeria, and what they're an expert of is in santeria, and let's say at some point they receive something of the 21 divisions, and you need to receive something of the 21 divisions or Vodou, that should not be the person doing the 21 divisions or Vodou for you. Okay? Because their expertise lies in Santeria. What they work with is Santeria. What their main thing is Lukumi Santeria. And what's going to happen is you're going to get some half-ass shit on the other side and what you need. You cannot go to a palero and someone who is mainly a palero, that's their camino, that's their path, and maybe they have some of this or some of that in another tradition, but that's their main path, and they're going to be able to properly instruct you in this. And vice versa. If someone's main path is Vodou or La 21 División, maybe they have some Santeria things done. They're not going to be able to take you down that path 100, especially if that's your path and that's what you need. You need somebody who does that. A lot of mishmash is happening all over the place, and there's a lot of things that in Lua we do not do. When you work with Lua, you do not need it. Okay? And for those of us who are Caballo de Misterio, you need even less. Lua do not live in soperas. We do not do rayamientos de Lua. Okay? We don't do coronaciones de Lua. These are not practices within the 21 divisions or Vodou. Okay? The Lua do not receive that. Okay? Those are Santeria practices. But I've been seeing people receiving, you can receive a punto, you can receive a point, but I've been seeing people saying, oh, la sopera de Bélier. They received the soup tureen of Bélier Belcan. No, it doesn't work that way. We don't use that. You won't go to altars in Haiti or DR and find soperas and otanes and the things that you find inside of a sopera santera. Okay? But I've seen it. Okay? And a true refresco de cabeza is not just throwing some soda on somebody and calling it a day. It's a process. Okay? A true bautizo in la 21 División is not done in one day. Okay? Again, it's a process. So, you know, I don't have it around me right now, but if you haven't already grabbed yourself a copy, go ahead and grab yourself a copy of my book, The 21 Divisions, Mysteries and Magic of Dominican Voodoo. The thing about it is, with 21 Divisions, or with Vodou, okay, a lot of things you're not going to be able to know until a certain point. A lot of information can't just be handed over to you until you get deep enough, right? And that's why a lot of people email me, DM me, message me, oh, can you give me information about this law? Can you give me information about that law? Can you give me information about this? Can you give me information about that? No, I can't. The reason I can't is because this is not Cracker Jacks. This is not candy. You don't just pass it all around. That's not how it works. That's not how these things work. And there's a certain point that you need to have passage, besoin pasai, right? You have to have passage and the permission and the okay to be given that information. Okay? It's not just it's not just basically passing out candies, okay? If you want to work properly in these things and you want things to work for you properly, you got to go about things in a proper manner. And there's a process to this, okay? And that process is not the Santeria process. It's not the Espiritista process. And it's not the Paleria process. They're different traditions. Unfortunately, what I've seen throughout the years is that you get a lot of santeros, a lot of espiritista, okay? A lot of santeros, espiritista, especially in New York, especially in Florida, okay? What's being done is a mishmash and basically a hotdammess.com, okay? And they want to use the words brujeria or voodoo or loi to make it seem more powerful and to reel you in, and that they know, and that this and that, okay? And that it's a hot damn mess what they end up giving you. And I deal with a lot of people who have loi, okay? They went through a santero, and guess what? Now they're all crossed up and they can't communicate and they can't get nothing, and things that came to them so easily before won't come to them anymore. There's a lot of loi que te dejan, they'll leave you for getting initiated in Santeria. It is what it is. There's a lot of loi that don't go that way. They won't take the mixture. And there's some people who have loi and they can have that mix. They can have more than one practice that is not all loi. Okay? But there's a lot of loi that if tú te metes en Santeria, if you get involved in Santeria, they're out. And then what you find is your life is messed up because that's not for you. Okay? And spiritual power can't be bought. And so basically don't cross yourself up. Take your time. Take the steps. A lot of people want to get initiated tomorrow. Right? Just entering today. They want to come in today and they want to get initiated tomorrow. Because they think that's going to give them the loi, or that's going to give them Orisha or the power, etc. And that's not how any of these things work. Okay? And there's a lot of individuals that I see or know in the community that either are claiming initiations they don't have, were initiated or received ceremony incorrectly, or just don't have either. They don't have jack. Okay? And they got initiated, but they don't have loi to back that up. Because the initiation isn't going to give it to you, baby. This cannot be bought. Okay? Initiation has its price. Because it's ceremony, it's people's time, it's people's energy, there's ingredients, there's other people that need to be paid, time and energy, right? But that does not buy you the loi. So that's my short little video. If you can go and check out his long video, I posted it up on Instagram. I'm not really sure how to get it over to Facebook, but I think it was an awesome discussion and an awesome video that he did, you know, discussing these things at length, you know, and going into them. But realize that, yeah, I don't even know why. A lot of people, my friend here, Miss Elliott, says she doesn't understand why people want to have loi. Okay? Because it's not easy. And it's true, it's absolutely not easy. Okay? This is not Pokemon. I came up with that saying like 10 years back. Loi is not Pokemon. But not only that, loi doesn't mean that your life is always going to be easy or that it is easy. Okay? Loi is a lot of hard work. There's going to be times you don't want to get out the bed. The loi wants you to do something. There's going to be times your ass want to go to sleep, but you can't because the loi wants something. There's going to be times that you're going to be majorly inconvenienced, okay, because you have loi. And if you're a spiritual worker, for other people, get ready for even more inconveniences, okay? Right? And if you're a spiritual worker, get ready that you're not going to be sleeping in most days, laying in your bed. It's going to be Saturday, and you're not going to be sleeping in. Right? The Loi want you up with the sun. Okay? There's going to be a lot of things that you can't do. A lot of things that if you didn't have Loi, you'd be all right to go and do. Lots of people go and do it. But it's different when you have Loi. So be careful what you wish for. Because you might just get it. But you ain't necessarily going to like it. Okay? So I wish y'all many blessings. Right? Stay safe. Wash your hands. Social distance. For those of you who are unaware, like, share, subscribe. I heard somebody follow. That's a good little way. Like, share, subscribe, follow for more. And for those of you who haven't heard, you're most welcome. For those of you who haven't heard, we are taking a collection for Haiti. You can cash at me, cash symbol Hector Salva, or PayPal me, help@mysticalwork.com. Put in Haiti in the notes so that I know what it's for. Put in the word Haiti. People in Haiti are suffering. We sent one of those donations the other day. The next collection I'm planning on sending in the next day or two. I'm waiting for everyone's stuff to come in so that way I can send it at one time. So we've already sent to a few people down in Haiti. One of them is helping their community with the money. So if you want to donate and help the people who took care of the Loi so that you can know what you know, you're more than welcome to do so. None of the money ends up in anyone's pocket except for the people that actually need it. All right? So many blessings. Stay blessed. Keep the faith. Keep strong. Keep your head up and on a swivel.